Well, it's the end of another day, and the mic may or may not be working, but I'm going to keep on going, because that's what I do. So we are in Florida, right? Right next to the beach. But my mother-in-law does not like the beach. She'll go once or twice, and that's all she wants to do. She wants to go shopping. She wants to go out to eat. She's Greek. And she also will go to a rec center. She's staying down in Florida. She's been there for, I think, 2-3 weeks now. And instead of going to the beach, she'll go to the rec center. Well, when we get down there, they want us to experience all the joys that they have had at the rec center. So I tell my wife, I go, why in the world would we drive to Florida to go to a rec center, a pool at the rec center, when we're by the beach? But we end up taking our children, and my in-laws actually took the children. My wife and I, we went to the beach with our youngest, but the other three, they went to the rec center with my in-laws and had a wonderful time. And I was so ecstatic that I did not go to the rec center and swim in Florida. Well, we are back here in Lebanon, and it is Labor Day weekend. Labor Day? Yes, Labor Day. The rec center here in Lebanon, the outdoor pool is open just through this weekend, so my family wanted to go to the rec center. Well, it seemed more appropriate to go to the rec center here in Lebanon than it did to go in Florida. So my wife and the kids went to the rec center while I was working on the yard. We needed to mow. It had been 2.5, 3 weeks since I'd mowed. Well, my son, is adamant about going off of the diving board, and he has been so adamant about trying to go off the high dive. He's 3 years old, and today, the very first thing that he did, was he climbed up to the top of that high dive, and he jumped off by himself into the water from the high dive. He did it several times, and he was just thrilled to be doing so. My wife, needless to say, was very, very anxious about it. When she, the end of the day for them at the rec center came because my son, who's 3, he can kind of swim-ish, but he still has to have his life preserver. Well, he thought that he had graduated to no longer needing the life preserver, so he took off his life preserver, and he was climbing up the stairs to go on the go off the diving board by himself. And needless to say, my wife was hollering and screaming, and the lifeguard ended up coming over and catching him before he jumped into the pool and needed saving. So I couldn't be more ecstatic of, as a father, couldn't be more proud as a dad of my son willing to take on the challenge of jumping into the unknown, going into the dangerous waters. But I definitely want to make sure that he has the support he needs to do so and not just let him go off into the deep end by himself. So he survived another day, but you better believe next year, when that diving board opens up again, he's going to be going off of it without his life jacket on. And I'll be able to fill you in on how he does diving the dive. Well, I did tell you that there were going to be some challenges that I was going to be sharing. And one of those challenges came today when I looked at my audio files or my video files from yesterday. I came in, I was really excited. I had a lot of things I was going to share with you. And I took the time to do the videos last night, but it was too late. I didn't get a chance to edit them. So today, whenever I loaded them onto my computer, I pulled it up and the audio was shot. It was just the whole time. And that's what this mic has done, is it's pulling too much power from my camera, overheating my camera and freaking out all of the stuff inside. So I'm hoping to be able to salvage it. And if I do, then I'll be able to share with you, or you'll be able to see what I talked about last night. But man, it is so frustrating whenever you have a plan that you're going to do, you do everything that you can, you think you're prepared, and then all of a sudden, something goes awry. What do you do in those moments? Do you just throw in the towel? Do you call it quits? Do you think about how you're going to try to salvage what you've done? Do you start over? I really am curious. For me, I know that I keep trying to come up with a solution. I am somewhat of a techie, and so I will mess with all of the different settings, try and figure out what was actually wrong, try and salvage it. But sometimes I do know it's best to just stop, step away, and then come back and start afresh. As a perfectionist, I really do struggle with failing. And I don't know if you have that same challenge, but when I set out to do something and I hit obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, and then finally it comes to the point where I realize I can't make this work. I really do struggle with feeling so defeated that I'm tempted to not try again that same endeavor. I'll just quit, throw in the towel. I talked before about the optimism cycle, about how you can go through the ups and downs, and you hit that point where you're either going to completely give up or climb up and just keep pushing and doing something different. I really have tried in this season to look at my failures not as a complete waste of time, but really gathering the information that I can, whatever I need to learn from the mistakes, and keep pushing forward. I don't know if you do that or not, but I really do. I challenge you, I encourage you to keep trying. If something isn't working, maybe go back to the drawing board, but don't throw out all of the experience that you got in that failure. There is a lesson to be learned, and honestly, when you win, the people who win successfully over and over and over again, what they do is they learn from their mistakes. So if there's something that has set you back, don't let it be something that keeps you back. Instead, let it be something that sets you up for the next step. The next time you go in, you are more equipped to handle the situation. You're more equipped to address a problem. You can anticipate things better than you did before, and you actually are a better person for solving that problem because of that failure. You learn from your mistakes, not from your wins. Your wins may or may not be something that you can even take credit for. But when you make a mistake, you really can dive into what caused it and learn from it and grow from it. And that's how you truly get to win in life. Well, I hope you got something out of tonight. I hope you got a good laugh, maybe thinking about going to Florida, and you yourself could go to a rec center and enjoy a pool right next to a beach. And instead of having to get all sandy and salty, you can go into the chlorine and the urine and enjoy that fragrance instead. Hopefully you were challenged a little bit. Maybe you had some things that you've been trying on your own, and you've been defeated and you felt frustrated, and maybe you got a little bit of that motivational boost to keep going, keep trying. But either way, I am so thankful that you have decided to join me. If you are not subscribed to the channel yet, I would greatly appreciate if you would consider subscribing. If you liked what you heard tonight, give me that thumbs up. If you liked it enough, share it on social media and put something in the comments, something that stood out to you, something that you'd like to talk about. I would love to hear what you have to say. I'd love to have some dialogue through the comment section as well. And as always, if you are in the Lebanon area and would like to join me, I would love to sit down face to face with you and share a cigar and change the world.